Join me on DraftKings. Go to Dr. T23.site. That is DRT23.site. Go ahead and click join me on DraftKings and get your $200 bonus bet when you bet $5 instantly on DraftKings Sportsbook money lines, totals, and same game parlays. DraftKings has the action. On this week's episode, the NBA in-season tournament has since come and gone, and yes, the Lakers took the W. We'll dive into that. We're going to dig into Jordan Howden and how he's just showing out as a star, as a rookie. Campus Gridiron, are you ready for the college football playoffs? We'll talk about that as well. And lastly, what is going on with the Chiefs? My goodness, we're going to get into all of that. It's time for A Win is a Win. Let's go, y'all.
It's time for the Rookie Rundown.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Well, welcome back, guys. I had to take a little hiatus because I was sick with the flu. Yes, your girl went down, woman down. But I'm about 80% back up on my feet. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. And don't forget to tell someone to tell somebody else to join a Win is a Win family. And you need to know when I'm on here. So in order to do that, you got to hit that notification bell. So let's start out talking about an undrafted linebacker in our rookie rundown, Ivan Pace Jr. of the Vikings. Now, the rookie has consistently carved out a larger role due to his impact on the game, and he did that once again this weekend during a 3-0 win over the Raiders. Now, Pace racked up 13 combined tackles with the sack on top of it, but his best play came at the end of the game. Now, he picked up the game-sealing interception to secure his team a victory while keeping them alive in the playoff race. Now, listen, Pace has been unbelievable for Minnesota, and it's shocking to me that he wasn't drafted. Sticking with another underrated defensive player, we have to talk about Jordan Howden. Yes, the Saints safety put together another excellent game against the Panthers with starter Marcus May out on commission. Now, Howden, he picked up 10 tackles, a pass deflection, and a strip sack when coming off of a blitz. Now, he's only started in 5 games, but each time he gets an opportunity, he sets up and he plays all over the field. I think the Saints could have something really nice in him. And finally, we are going to talk about someone that I have brought up before quite a few times. And yes, I'm talking about Puka Nacua. Now, he had just 5 passes for 87 yards, which is becoming a modest stat for him. However, he made a highlight catch that made people forget that he's only a 5th-round draft pick. Now, he had a diving catch in the 4th quarter with the Rams fighting to stay alive against the Ravens. Now, his ability to make these huge grabs and consistently put up solid receiving numbers puts him on this list every single time. Campus Gridiron up next.
Let's see what's up with our Campus Gridiron.
College football playoffs are set, and you have Michigan, who's taking the top spot in the rankings. Now you are followed up with the Washington Huskies, then Texas Longhorns, and finally, of course, Alabama's Crimson Tide. Now, there's still quite a ways away left before these playoffs begin, but it's a nice reminder of who's competing for it all by the time it rolls around in early January, which is going to kind of lead me into this. Change is coming in college football. As of next year, you have teams leaving different conferences and aligning themselves in other conferences that are going to make this change huge. And what am I talking about? Well, the college football commissioners created the 6x6 format around there being 10 football conferences, five Power Five conferences. Now, that's no longer the case after the Pac 12 collapses. There's momentum to reduce the number of automatic qualifiers from six to five and increase the number of at large berths from six to seven. So a 5+7 format change with 9 leagues, 4 power leagues, a 6+6 format would grant access to a second group of 5 conference champions, potentially one that's outside of the top 25. I've said this. SEC Commissioner Sansky said that the playoff system, which he helped create, cannot justify such a thing. However, there may be complications in the change. Now, here's the debate. Interesting. A change in the format before current contract runs out, I believe it's in 2025, must be a unanimous decision amongst all 11 members of the college football board. Now, that's where things get tricky. The Pac 12, despite the league dropping 2 members next year, retains its voting privileges. Weird. Any format change to 5+7 comes with a likely move to rule the Pac 12 champion, either Oregon State or Washington State, ineligible to receive automatic qualifier as a conference champion. Now, will the league stand in the way is the question. Now, there's another hurdle as well. American Athletic Conference Commissioner Orozco and AAC leaders wants the 6+6 format to remain for the final 2 years of the college football contract, which runs through 2025 playoff. However, it's not clear, not to me or anyone, that there is no binding agreement after 2025 season for both a playoff format and a television contract. Now, this is going to be huge. You're talking about revenue sharing, you're talking about the biggest bidding war for television networks to feature this new big college football playoff that's coming. I'm talking about, if you if you look on the large scale of things, college football is in year 10 of 12 of its contract. Okay. The network televises all 3 games. Most of it is ESPN, 2 semifinals and a title game each year. The network pays college football roughly $460 million annually just for what it's doing right now. And we haven't even talked about the new format. Lots going on in college football. Do you buy into it? Or what format do you want to see college football change into? Nonetheless, it should be interesting. Sports news up next.
Let's get into the sports news.
Well, at the end of week 14, 49ers were able to clinch the first playoff spot. They not only took down the Seattle Seahawks, but the Philadelphia Eagles lost along with the Atlanta Falcons, Detroit Lions, and the Green Bay Packers. All of those NFC losses helped seal the deal for the 49ers team that was basically a lock to get into postseason anyway, if you ask me, for the past few weeks. Only now it's official. San Francisco even has a chance at holding on to number 1 seed on the conference if they win out, or if the Eagles Dallas Cowboys lose a game or two down the stretch. So we'll see what happens next week when those uh, Cowboys and Eagles meet up, and then after which the Cowboys have to play those Buffalo Bills, and you know it is hard to play in Buffalo. The next big news was that the Giants' undrafted quarterback Tommy DeVito won his third straight game. Now, while DeVito could have fallen into the rookie rundown category, it's best we cover it here because he has this Giants team on a roll. Now, ever since he became the starter, the organization and the fan base has had a sense of pride, just a little bit again, a little bit of hope. Their confidence has skyrocketed, and it's resulted in him getting his nickname, Tommy Cutlets, due to him saying that his mom makes great chicken cutlets. And even if you aren't a Giants fan, you often find yourself rooting for DeVito to succeed, and he just keeps getting the job done. Now, we also need to bring up the Chiefs drama because there is a lot of drama. Now, Kadarius Toney was flagged for being offsides on a play that resulted in a beautiful touchdown. Now, a touchdown that would have put them in the lead with under 2 minutes remaining in the game. A touchdown that saw Kelsey catch a deep ball, then he turns backwards and launches it to Tony, who ran into the end zone. It was a great play, but he was clearly offsides before the snap. When the game ended, microphones caught Mahomes openly complaining about the penalty to Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. He also spiked his helmet in anger on the sideline, threw it, had a tantrum, and head coach Andy Reid complained about the call on his own post-game presser. It was a lot going on the sideline. I personally have never seen Mahomes act like that, but sometimes things happen. It was a nice situation because he was very, very, Kadarius was obviously offsides, and the penalty was thrown before the touchdown happened. Now, it was unfortunate, but this Chiefs team wasn't wronged like how they feel they were. So sometimes we may feel that we got a bad call. And my goodness, for as much as these NFL coaches have gotten it wrong, there are times where they get it right, and there isn't anything that we can argue about. But something is wrong with the Chiefs. They're off. And I mean, is it time to get the alarm and ring it? Maybe, because what I'm seeing is a team right now that's in disarray. Their offense is just not firing on all cylinders right now, and it doesn't take a genius to see it. Kelsey's not having a good year at all. He's dropped passes. Now the go-to is Rashid Rice. You sometimes forget Kelsey's even out there, and Mahomes is throwing picks. It's all over the place. And you have to ask yourself, can they sustain what they're doing and make a playoff run, or can they fix it, get things right, get their heads back in the game for these playoff runs? If they get in, I just don't know. But something definitely is wrong with the Chiefs, and should be interesting to see what happens with their. Even I'll say this: even when they win, there's something wrong. It's just, and don't get me wrong, a win is a win is a win. That's why I named this podcast "A Win Is a Win." However, some wins are pretty and some are ugly, and as of late, the wins are barely, and they are quite ugly. Injury report coming up next. Are you looking to fill your home space with some wonderful essentials, or are you looking for the perfect holiday gift? Well, go to drT23.site. That is DRT23.site. Navigate down to Nest & Co. and look at all the wonderful products that are there available to you, and you get free shipping worldwide. That is DRT23.site. Go to Nest & Co. for your home essential needs.
Who's hurt? Who's ready to go? Time for the injury report.
It was Justin Jefferson's first game back in the starting lineup since he suffered his hamstring injury a couple weeks ago. The return lasted only 13 snaps before he suffered a chest injury that forced him to exit for the remainder of the game. Now, he had two receptions for 27 yards before he exited. Jefferson was hit so hard that he was taken to a hospital to get checked out in case there was something further wrong. Head coach Kevin O'Connell said that Jefferson still has a chance to play for this upcoming Sunday, but wouldn't say for sure if he would or not. Chargers lost QB Justin Herbert to a fractured index finger in their loss to the Broncos. Now, Herbert already had a finger injury that was taped up, and now the situation has gotten much worse. He's still undergoing tests to confirm the fracture and seeks different options to see how long he just might be out. Now, given how vague the coaching staff has been, Herbert could easily get shut down for the rest of the year, with the Chargers likely missing the playoffs at a 5-8 overall. And then last bit of injury news comes from the Houston Texans and their QB, Ohio State alum CJ Stroud. Stroud exited late in a blowout loss to the New York Jets due to concussion protocol and didn't return. Like any other player, when you go in concussion protocol, he has to be clear before Thursday or Friday in order to have a good shot at playing this coming up weekend. Now, the hope is that he'll miss just one game at max. But if you are, perceived to be concussed, the right thing to do is take the proper protocol. Don't put yourself back out there until doctors have cleared you from a neuro standpoint. That way, you don't cause any further damage that could be looming before you get back out there on the field. So, lots of injuries around the league right now. Those are just a couple. Hopefully, those who are injured will get back if it's not serious, and those who are, playing backup to those who are injured or out for seasons can get these teams where they need to be, because guess what, baby? Playoffs are around the corner in the blink of an eye, and every team, every coach, every QB, everyone, the fans included, needs everybody at the top of their game or at their healthiest to make these playoff runs. Bet Masters up next. Hold on, guys. Yes, it's time for sounding off with Tiff. Pizza, hot dogs, fast food. Let's be more specific. McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Taco Bell, Dairy Queen, candy, ice cream, donuts, salty chips, cheese puffs, sugary sodas, you name it. This is what I find that youth athletic students are eating before, during, and after their games, practices, or what have you. Now, the food environment in youth sports exposes kids and their families to many unhealthy foods and beverages and a few minimal healthy options. Youth who participate in sports spend considerable time in these activities outside of school, and these sports environments are likely to influence their eating habits. Now, parents should be concerned about what their children are eating, because good nutrition has benefits beyond weight management and is important for optimizing performance. Now, when I show up to soccer, football, basketball, it could even be baseball, doesn't matter. When I am called to come in and do nutrition assessment, the very first place that I go to is a locker room. Why? Because that's where most of the snacks are held and set up before games and or before practice. And what do you see? Nothing at all, or you see junk food. They might as well have dumped out the middle aisle at Circle K or Quick Trip and dumped it on the table. There's everything that they shouldn't have. There is protein. There's no bottles of water. There's every sugary drink that you can think of, sodas, chips. And then you can't find the athletes. Well, where are they at? Well, they're down the street and they're eating Burger King, they're eating Taco Bell, they're eating McDonald's, all before a game or practice. Now, despite parents' awareness of poor food and beverage choices, that are prevalent in youth sports, few parents attempted to change the situation. And this is another vital part of youth nutrition that makes my brain hurt. I get the excuse, well, I don't have time, or I'm coming from work, or they're going to run it off on the field anyway. That's not the case. The findings suggest the importance of helping parents understand the benefits of healthful eating for all children, regardless of their current weight status, and helping parents feel empowered to create healthful food environment for their children despite obstacles. Now, researchers believe that youth sports is a promise setting for promoting nutrition. According to the National Council of Youth Sports, more than 44 million youth athletes in organized sports each year do not get the proper nutrition. Now, they're more likely to consume sports drinks and items from fast food restaurants than youth who are educated about nutrition, them and the parents. Making recommendations to parents, making recommendations to coaches to continually hydrate these athletes. Let's take a step back to this past summer where we've seen many of youth athletes or students who are just outside for recess falling over and dying, collapsing on a basketball court, collapsing on a football field. Why? Poor nutrition. In extreme amounts of heat, no water in their system. Wrong. You need to drink past the point of your thirst when you're on the field. Okay? And we're going to continue to talk about in game snacks. You can't have 5, 6, and 8 year olds on the field and expect them not to have the proper nutrition that's going to sustain their performance on the field. So they shouldn't be eating Cheetos on the sideline. The parents shouldn't be bringing Takis and Taco Bell and bags of fast food to eat right before, during, or after the game. Clean nutrition, fruits, vegetables, complex carbs, peanut butter, eat some eggs, eat some meat. If you're vegan, beans, things of that nature that will give them a fighting chance at performing the best and preventing injury. Because let's face it, when you have poor nutrition on board, you are at a higher susceptible rate for injury. And you talk about the sports psychology, if you are training your children that poor nutrition is the right way to eat, they're always going to have that mindset to go for and eat things that are less than what they should have in nutritional value when being a youth athlete. And then on top of that, you have the parents who will sit back and yell and complain at the kids and say, you're not performing well. You need to get your numbers up. Your coaches are complaining. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Not realizing that a part of the problem with a 5-year-old soccer player, an 8-year-old football player, a 12-year-old basketball player is simply because they can only eat what you're giving them. The parents are failing these children when it comes to nutrition. Period. We can take the sports out of it and just say, period. The lines that you see and the children that you see standing outside of Chick-fil-A, standing outside of McDonald's, go and get the $5 bag and the 4 for 4, the 3 for 3, the 2 for 2, and the 1 for whatever, instead of cooking your food at home. Youth diabetes is on the rise, and you're going to see a decrease in the performance and the enrollment of children who want to play sports because their bodies are not going to be able to sustain the necessary impact, the necessary responsibility, the necessary of every single aspect of being an athlete in the sport that they choose if they don't have a fighting chance to clean up their nutrition. And parents, if you don't want to eat right and you don't want to do right by your health, that is your problem. But my God, give these kids a fighting chance.
It's a bet. Time for Bet Masters.
One underdog that I really like here this week are the Broncos. Now, the Broncos will face the Detroit Lions, but if you look at their last 4 games, you have seen the Lions play underwhelming football, even though they're 2-2 in those matchups. Now, Denver, on the other hand, is on fire right now, playing great on both sides of the ball against a few teams. Now, although I think that the better team here is the Denver Broncos, by the way that they're playing, I do give a slight edge because Detroit is out to prove a point that we are better than how we have been playing. Therefore, in a slight edge, I would take Detroit on the money line. And if you want to put in a backup bet, then put a little money on Denver as the dog in that one. Another game I would keep an eye on is the Chiefs taking on the Patriots. Betting on the Chiefs feels easy here. Their offense is frustrated and angry, like resulting in a huge, huge, huge game. Plus, the Patriots are one of the worst teams in the league when it comes to their record, despite having a good defense. I see Kansas City winning this one on the road, but keep in mind, even though I'll put my money on them on the money line straight up, I still think this is not going to be one of those easier, more pretty wins without the mistakes that we've been seeing them have over the last couple of weeks. Let's face it, the Panthers just aren't good at all. Bryce Young is in a horrible situation to succeed. Their offensive line, their O line is atrocious. The receivers can't get separation, and the run game is awfully inconsistent. This is more so betting against the Panthers than it is betting on the Atlanta Falcons. You can sum that up in whichever way you think you might need to, but you know what I'm saying in the post coming up next. Are you searching for some new NFL gear? Well, go to drT23.site. That is DRT23.site. Click the NFL shop link there. Enter your code NFL30 to get 30% off of your purchase. Let's get back to the show. Well, the in-season tournament has since come and gone. And who came out on top? None other than the Los Angeles Lakers. Yep, the Lakers defeated the Pacers with a final score of 123-109. AD dropped 41 points and grabbed 20 boards, and AR scored 28 of his own coming off the bench. Now, LeBron James added another award to his laundry list of accolades as he was named the MVP of the tournament as a whole. The Lakers went undefeated in all of their in-season tournament games as the 19 all-time All-Star averaged a total of 26.4 points and 7 assists per game with a shooting percent of 57 from the field and 61% from all three in his 7 appearances. Now, some people are questioning how hard LeBron, AD, AR, the team as a whole went ham super hard for this in-season tournament, yet and still when it came to regular season games, you're getting blown off the court by 44 plus points. AD, we know how he is. He shows up, he disappears. He sees helicopters, he sees stars. He might be here, he might not. LeBron is eating on the sideline. AR shoots, he scores, he shoots, he misses. We're hot, we're cold. It's a mess in regular season games. Not to mention that when the tournament was won, it was more of almost an NBA championship feel. Almost like they won a chip, which they kind of did, but didn't. It's almost as if the season to them had been solidified. We did it, we won it. I'm not done. Weeks later, they're going to play the Knicks soon. And rumor has it they're going to hang this banner from the rafters. I guess so. You won the tournament. And from my understanding, there wasn't going to be any type of banner being hung in any of the arenas for whoever won. But here we go. The internet was set on fire as soon as the word got out that they were hanging the banner. It is a unique ad, a year in season tournament banner, says Jovan Bull of The Athletic, who revealed that the Lakers wanted it hanging in the rafters. I guess we'll see Bronny's report card up there next. That's going to do it for our episode of A Win is a Win. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast, and go and let somebody else know to join A Win is a Win. Those notification bells go off if you activate it, and we'll see you guys next week.